Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we call the Shifting the Culture podcast, where we talk about the different artists and different events that have impacted and still continue to impact this culture we know and love as hippity hip hop. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the flesh as always.
This is the evil genius, aka King Khan, live and direct once again.
And we have a very special guest for you guys today. And that special guest we're going to be featuring today is actor, artist, producer, personal chef, also creator of the Beats and Bars Music Workshop series, and also CEO of Props Do Entertainment. He is the one, the only Mike motherfucking Johnson. What's the deal, my dude?
Mic check, 1, 2. I am the rogue microphone, but you call me Mike. Yeah, we in effect. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Oh man, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, glad to have you, bro. So before we get started and get into like our main topics, I wanted to ask you, how far back does your love and your roots for music go, and what can you remember of like your first experiences with it that stood out to you?
Oh man, music was always in my family. You know, it was concert band, it was jazz band, it was marching band, it was this band. It was my dad's band. You know, my dad had a band. All my brothers were in the band on some, other Voltage Brothers shit. You know what I mean? Jackson 5. But I grew up in that. Hip hop has always been, a vehicle for learning for me. Adapting to new environments. You know what I mean? Learning about business, being a man, learning about God. You know, hip hop was, one of those genres that made me kind of rethink music. Because the voice being an instrument. You know what I mean. There's so many things that you can say. Not to take anything away from the keys or the drums or anything like that, but the voice is very powerful too. That's why we got podcasts and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
So the message that you put behind the music, the chants that you put into the music, hip hop really shaped my life coming up. I grew up in the '90s, the golden era of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Wu-Tang,
Biggie.
Outkast, Nas. What I mean. So that era was, kind of what I grew up in. So it was, how I shape my life, how I shape my vision of the world. I did move around a lot, so I got a taste of different cities, and hip hop was always there with me. As long as I could rap a couple bars, and stay in the ciphers in each city, I was good to go. I didn't have to know nobody, kind of a nomad, walking around a rogue, so to speak. Found my way to Atlanta and, just continuing on the legacy, man, continuing on tradition. Got the studio up here. We moved our studios down here. I moved the Beats and Bars program down here. That's our music education program after school for kids.
Oh, nice. That's dope. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
from
mind expanding on that a little bit more? Like talk about
oh
like
sure,
what you got
sure.
going on.
Yeah, when I was up top, I created this curriculum to teach kids music from like ages 10 to 17. And then it kind of evolved into entrepreneurial program for kids 18 to 24. The last one I had was in Connecticut and New Haven, Connecticut. Shout out to Pistol Wave in New Haven. He was out there and we partnered with the housing authority out
Okay.
there. So, yeah, we were able to get the space and transportation as well. So that one was really exciting. The kids went through the curriculum, which is pretty much what they got was we taught them how to make beats, write lyrics, write songs, arrange songs, shoot videos, choreograph videos, treat videos. Because these kids got their phone in their hand all day and they get in trouble
Yep.
at school for having a phone. When you come to my program now, you're gonna use your phone. You want to be on TikTok? All right, you're the director now. Oh, you dancing? You know what I'm saying? You want to do all them dances and stuff? You gonna be the choreographer now? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I bring the studio with me, and I let them play around, let them discover what they want to do, and they want to rock with the keys. We get them on the keys, the drums. We do that. Guitars, brass. Whatever is whatever that speaks to them. It's about bringing out their self discovery, their self expression. Because hip hop helped me so much.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Why not give it to the kids in the purest form? You know what I mean?
Nah, I rock with that heavy, man. Like that's good. That's a dope thing you got going on, especially for the kids. Keep them out of trouble and also educating them at the same time, and
Yeah, exactly,
helping them find maybe there's a passion. Maybe you never know. Maybe somebody you can find the next Questlove or the next Quincy
exactly.
Jones or somebody like that. Just from your program. So that's dope that you put that together, yo. So much props to you and whoever helped you
Peace,
out put that
peace.
together, man.
I worked with my man. Big shout out to my man. Why not show love? Um, he was a big proponent. He's like an artist activist. He coined the term artivist,
Oh, that's dope.
and the energy really just fit with that. Um, I met him almost 20 years now back in Queens. We both lived in Queens, and
Queens get the money.
yeah, for real. I think we were probably part of a rap group or something. Yeah, you know what I mean. Just going to different open mics and shutting shit down. You know
Hmm.
what I mean. Those type of days. You know what I mean. And it got bigger than that. Hip hop got bigger than that for us. So we continue to make moves. He does plays now. He does a lot of social work in the city, raises money for gun violence. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a big proponent of that. He's trying to make his way down to the A. I'm trying to tell y'all the A is where it's at.
It
You
is.
know, I got roots down here. My father retired down here in Decatur, and my sister is Esperanza from Society of Soul. You know what I mean? So I got roots down here. Um, so it's like coming full circle that I'm back. You know what I mean? With my wife, I
Mhm.
married my wife. She's an educator as well. She does art. She teaches kids how to do art,
Mhm.
contemporary art. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, man, it was a good move for us to come down here and meeting up with like minds who are working, and you see a lot of that in Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I like about Atlanta. And it feels like kind of like you up north. It's like, but it's just like in the south, and I don't know. I just a lot of like-minded people, like you
It's
said. A lot of
cool. It's
people,
laid back. It's cool.
yeah. Everybody's laid back. Everybody's into music, fashion, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed my time down here. But yeah, go ahead, Kurt. Finish your thought.
Yeah, it's a good vibe out here, and it's like really becoming one of those hip hop melting pots. I'm not saying the same like New York or anything like that, but yeah, it's definitely
Or
become one of those places to be for the culture, and I'm really happy to be out here for that. It's definitely been a nice switch up from being in Vegas for the last 6 years. Although there is one thing I do miss about Vegas that we had there that we don't have here, if you guys know what I'm saying.
You already know.
Yes, sir.
it's coming. It's
I hope
coming.
so. They do have it in New York and New Jersey though, so at least I have that.
Yeah, in due time, man. In
Right.
due
Yeah.
time. Hopefully, in the next few election cycles, we get that go up and running out here.
Yeah, for real. Because you can go bodega in New York and get
I
that.
know. Shit, last time I went to New York, man, it was like on every corner, man. There was one of
Yeah,
those
Yeah.
for real.
stores.
Hell, they deliver.
They
Some of
put
them
the
even deliver
yo,
like a fucking pizza.
yo man. They put the homies on the block out of business
Yeah, I
real
know. Like,
quick.
what are they doing now? Like, what are people like? You should dabble in that those activities. Like, what are they up to these days?
Scamming,
Like,
Doing
scamming,
TikTok
they evolved
videos.
their hustle, man. Oh yeah. Oh no, I hope not. But probably so though. Probably so.
find a different craft, something else to get into.
You got to put these kids in my program, man.
Oh yeah, they
You
could
know
do
what
that too.
I mean?
All right, y'all. So let's get into some of our top stories of the day. this past week, Jeezy dropped his Tiny Desk concert, and I actually just checked it out recently. And I have to say, his concert is a prime example of why I've become such a fan of Jeezy over the last few years. And definitely a dude I admit that I slept on and did not give the credit that he deserved. I have to say, like, just in general, right now, like 2023, 2024 period, this is the most I've ever liked him. And this concert was another prime example. Good vibe, good energy. So after watching this Tiny Desk concert, what were you guys' thoughts on it? And did you guys think it stood out from some of the other ones you've seen?
To me personally, I thought it was dope to see Jeezy in that light. The only thing is, I don't put it on the same level like I say as like the Juvenile or the Scarface one that recently came out. I feel like the crowd was kind of dead, and I felt like he couldn't like really feed off the energy from the crowd and give like his best performance. I think he still did his thing and did the best that he could under the circumstances, but I feel like it was a pretty whack crowd. And I don't feel like those are the type of crowd that listen to Thug Motivation 101 or follow Jeezy throughout his career. So I don't know. I didn't feel like there was really like real Jeezy fans that were in the crowd, and I feel like it
Yeah,
took away from the performance.
yeah. I even saw him call out the fans at one point during it. Yeah, that is true.
But yeah,
Yeah, he
what you think
did.
about it, Mike?
Um, first of all, props due to Jeezy and everything that he's done throughout his career. Um, but I think he's an example of, what I mean, being out the game too long. Like he hasn't performed in a while. Like it almost sounded like he was ad libbing his own tracks, and he was like almost depending on the crowd
Yeah,
to,
to get that
you know what
energy
I'm
right.
saying? And then he did mess up a couple times, and I'm not saying that you can't mess up and bring it back because I seen the Axel Bronson joint,
Hmm.
and he had messed up. He had fumbled his lines like Jeezy was doing, and he brought it back. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I was really feeling the Bronson joint. I was feeling the
Oh yeah, I saw that
Scarface
one
joint,
back. Yeah, back in a couple years ago, I think.
the Toby, the Wingway,
Yeah,
the
that's how you
Wigway,
pronounce his last name? I just say Toby,
something
man. I
like
don't even want
that.
to butcher
Yeah,
his last
no
name.
Like
disrespect, yo, but
Giannis.
props due to Toby. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. But props to the Toby. But good things about it. I mean, he had the orchestra,
Oh
and
shit, yeah, he did.
yo, like look where hip hop is going, bruh. Where
Yeah.
you can, you know what I'm saying? And I think that might have been a clash of because all of his music is like party music, right? And
Yeah,
I
for the
know
most
that's a
part.
Or street
or
music.
trap music or street music, right? And it almost felt like he was trying to edit himself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He wasn't trying to, and that messed up his rhyme, or or it just sounded like it was messed up because he was editing himself.
Yeah, I think it was like a
You
watered down version of Jeezy. It wasn't like the real Snowman. But speaking of the Snowman, I love how they brought back the Snowman t-shirts though. I know those got banned
Yeah,
back in the day, but it was dope to see
Yeah,
them.
I
right.
remember they were
Yeah,
selling all those shirts like back in '05, like those cake shirts, like frosted cakes, like the cereals they would make as like drug dealers and all that shit. Yeah, those were hot back then.
yeah. But I enjoyed it overall. I love when you bring it down to that more intimate level,
Yeah, those are the best
because
concerts. Yeah.
Yeah.
you can really you can play with the song too because everybody does know it. And I was surprised at the people because if they weren't with him, they sure knew the songs that he was singing.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
wouldn't have been able to help that nigga. I don't like yo. I mean, yo, I give Jeezy his thing, but I couldn't, man. Don't put a gun in my head trying to remember any of his lyrics because you know what I'm saying. It wasn't my thing. Like I think he's one of like the best when it comes to like them dope raps.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really um, see him take it down to that personal level, right? He still tried to be that hype while he was sitting down. You know what I'm saying? He could have changed the way he interacted with the crowd in that way. I think that would have helped him a
Yeah,
little bit better.
I think yeah the crowd. I think the crowd took away from the performance. It kind of like threw him off. Yeah, I felt like if it was like a promoted event or a concert series with a live band
Right, he would have
like
killed
in
it.
Atlanta or somewhere down south with like his type of
Yeah.
fans, I think it would have been a much better experience. But I feel like he just did the best that he could
Yeah, for
with
instance,
what he was working with.
yeah, for instance, like when he made that appearance at the BET Hip Hop Awards back in October, he got one of the biggest pops of the night. So yeah, like if he'd done the performance he did from the Tiny Desk in front of that crowd, it would have been a wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
But nonetheless, I still love the series. I still would like other artists to, challenge themselves to continue to appear on that platform because it just shows
Hmm.
you like a more intimate vibe with the artists. And I don't know, every concert that I've been to when it's like that, not like an arena where it's like a low key lounge or someone like that, you kind of really connect with the artist. So I really, fuck with those type of concerts.
It's like the
So I like,
MTV Unplugged joints back in the
Yes,
day.
yes,
yeah,
MTV
I like that.
Unplugged. Yeah, that's why I want to go to Andre's concert now because that's pretty much what his like concert's gonna be like.
Who, Three Sacks?
But it's gonna be flutes. It's gonna be flutes and shit though,
I think he's gonna
Yeah,
be here next
and
week.
percussions and shit.
I think it's gonna be here next week.
that shit be tight, yo. You gonna have an orchestra of woodwinds. That shit gonna be
Yeah,
tight, yo.
bring your quilts,
Yeah.
bring your
Have a
tea,
picnic. Yeah, have a picnic.
have a picnic basket and whatnot, and then yeah, just have, enjoy the concert, bro.
Hey, it beats a concert where everybody's there like in a pissed off mood, getting into fights all the time.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah,
All right, yeah. So shout out to Jeezy, shout out to Tiny Desk, and I look forward to seeing whatever projects they come out with in the future. Who do you guys want to see do a Tiny Desk in the future? Like, who would be like somebody who pops off at the top of your head that you want to see do one?
that hasn't done one yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. That's a good question, man.
That's a good
Trying
question.
to think. Yeah,
Snoop Dogg would be interesting doing one of those.
yeah, I
Ah,
could see that. I could see that, but I'm trying to think who else would be.
Yeah, Jen and Juice and a Tiny Desk vibe would be some interesting shit.
uh, um,
I would say because I know I've heard Nas and Jay-Z perform with live bands before. It got to be somebody different. It got to be somebody like unexpected. Because like what I really liked the Juvenile one was like it was kind of unexpected. You wouldn't really expect him to
true,
perform with a
true,
live
man.
band. So I got to be somebody like that. Maybe like a Benny the Butcher or somebody like that
Yeah, I go
with a
like
live band.
the first thing that came to my mind was Killer Priest. I was like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
man, that'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? Because Wu did one already. Wu did one already, right?
I think they did it, but I've seen them perform with bands before.
Well,
I'm trying to
I don't
think,
even
but
know
that's a good
who's out
question.
now, yo. It's a great question.
Maybe Ice Spice.
Nah,
No,
hell
no.
nah. All she's gonna do is turn around and bend
Twerk.
over. That's all she's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? That's all she does in her performances.
Hey, she has a crazy following, though. I'll give her that. I'm not a fan of the music, but she has a big ass following.
What about the Goblin dude?
Yeah, she does.
Um, what's his name?
Lil
Nah.
Wayne.
He already did a rock album.
Who did? Who did?
Lil Wayne, he had that prom queen song.
Wayne.
He had
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
She's on Fire, the Scarface sample. Yeah, he did that shit like, yeah, in '09.
I cannot remember this dude's name. He had that group with Earl Sweatshirt.
Oh, Odd Future.
Yeah, he had. Okay,
Tyler
so
the Creator.
Tyler has Tyler done one?
Oh yeah, he did one in 2017.
Okay.
You know who would have been a good one if he was still alive? DMX.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
That would have
that
been
would have been
fire
Oh
dope. Yeah,
shit.
I could see him doing the
Oh
prayers and
yeah.
Oh
whatnot, doing
my
that
god.
vibe. That would have
That
been
would have
dope
been
with the band.
crazy.
Yeah, that probably would have been a great one to do.
Yeah, honestly, it's 3 years later. His death still hurts. Like I kind of in a way saw it coming, but when it did happen, you just said to yourself, "Fuck, why him?"
Has E40 done one?
Nah, he hasn't. Nah, he
That's
hasn't.
my answer. E40. That shit would be
E40,
dope.
yeah. Yo, his vocabulary is insane. He be making up random words. Like I just love the way he talks. Yo, it's
Yeah,
mad
it's
funny.
mad slang coming out of there, yo. Mad
Yeah, mad
slang.
slang.
That's why I love the different cities too, because Wu had their own slang. You know what I mean? Outcast,
Outcasts have their
they
own
got their
slang.
own
Hmm.
slang. The Bay,
Snoop and Dre.
yep, yep, and it's it's such a beautiful culture, man. It really is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so let's switch up to the next subject. Schoolboy Q recently went back on something he said a few years ago about white people being allowed to say the N word at his concerts. As a few days ago, all right, as a few days, all right, a few days ago, he put up a post of this essay that has the title "Schoolboy Q wants white people to say the N word," and under the caption for the post, he said, "I was on drugs. No, I don't," with a laughing emoji afterwards.
Ooh, he got some blowback for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm seeing a whole bunch of people are pissed off at him for this.
Nah, bro, don't you be inviting people to the barbecue without permission, bro.
Yeah,
Nah,
without the permission slip, man.
oh yeah, for real, bro. Now you need that. Yo, listen. Uh, I am a proponent of free speech, right?
Hmm.
Um, and the last time, a white person said that, they caught hands, right? Um,
Hmm.
However, I was a younger man then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Growing up and maturing, like, people can say whatever they want. If it ain't me or it don't apply to me, then it really don't matter. If it don't phase me. You know what I'm saying? I got too many other things
I got you.
going on. You know what I mean? You can say what you want because it's how you react to certain things.
Exactly, exactly.
And it puts him in a position where it's like, how you gonna react when they start saying it? You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I probably feel real uncomfortable, because what am I about to do? Just beat up everybody who
Yeah,
said,
everybody can say that
you know
word.
what I mean? Like, I'll be real tired, or I'm gonna be like a prize fighter by the end of the week. You know what I mean? Um,
Or we could go in another extreme case and just stop the concert altogether.
Say what?
I'm saying like he could get that pissed off with the fact of like white people saying the N word at his concert that he could just say like if y'all don't stop using that word, I'm not gonna play anymore. He could pull some shit like that very easily.
Yeah, he could. But now he's alienating his fans. He's being a liar to his fans. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what if some people actually thought they had a pass with that? That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
there was an interview he did like 7 years ago, was saying like, "Yo, y'all pay money to come see me. I assume you're not racist if you paid money to come see me. If you paid the money and you're a supporter of mine, fuck it, you have the right to say it."
Yeah, I get it back then when he was saying that, but the thing is, if you give people a pass at your concerts, then they feel like it's okay to use that word in other cases, or or they might think it's cool to use that word in front of their other other white friends that they think it's cool to use that word amongst themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a slippery slope, man. You can't really give
Very
that a
slippery
pass.
slope.
You know what I'm saying, for using those type of words, even though it may not. It's all how, kind of like what you said, Mike. It's all in how you look at it, and if you feed into that, let it bother you or not. But you know what I'm saying. What I like about Schoolboy Q, it feels like this time around with this album rollout and what he's got going on, it looks like he was going through some things, using some drugs, and then feels like he matured and kind of like found himself, and he's realizing and acknowledging, when some of the things that he did wrong, and he's trying to make correct those mistakes. So I love the growth from Schoolboy Q. I'm
Yeah, that's
interested to see,
admirable. Yeah.
what I'm saying, what this new album is going to be about. He's been going ham over the last few weeks, dropping new material. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to what he has to say on this album. And like I said, I love the growth, and I think he was away for a while because he was like trying to get clean, sober, and also trying to enjoy life with his kids and whatnot. So, shouts out to him, and yeah, and I just love that how he's on right kind of righting his wrongs and acknowledging where he messed up at.
Yeah, I give him props for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they'll get you. They'll get you. If you don't apologize, they'll get you.
Yeah, they got all these different groups online that'll come after you, the Barbs, the Beehives, and the
Cancel
Swifties,
culture,
and all these people,
motherfuckers.
all these people out there. So you got to be careful and tread lightly.
Yeah,
It's like, yo, I just need a smooth album rollout. Can I get a smooth album rollout, please?
yeah, I'm all about
Yeah,
I'm all about accountability and like calling yourself out for like dumb shit you did in the past or dumb shit you said in the past and bettering yourself from it. And it seems like from this he's going in that path. But just in general, I wanted to ask you guys something. Do you think in general like it's cool to even use that word period?
I use it all the time.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I used to use it a lot when I was younger, but as I got older, I try not to. Like it depends. Like if I'm in certain with certain friends or certain environments, I may use it more than others. But for the most part, I don't really use that word like how I used to. When I was, let me say, like 10 years ago. Like I kind of like mature now. Just use different words, and I just try not to put that word out there because especially if you're in front of like, people of the other ethnicities and whatnot, and they're not allowed to use those type of words. I don't feel comfortable like saying those words in front of them, and then they can't use it. So that's just kind of like how I see it now as I got older.
That's a great point. Um, I wish I was that mature. Because I mean, when I'm telling a story, is everybody's niggas and bitches. Like
Yeah,
this nigga over there, this bitch right here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's kind of how I talk. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, I do get a lot of flack for that, right?
mm.
Because you can't be using that shit at Thanksgiving. You know
Oh
what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
In front of little
certain environments you
kids.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah, right, right. Sometimes I forget little kids are in the
Oh
room, and
shit.
hey, I believe that you should talk to little kids like grown people anyway. If you want them to grow up fast, if you want them
yeah,
to be able to, you know, um,
mature quicker.
have conversation faster. You don't want to demean, or baby like your speech to them. You want to be real with it. But at the same time, there is, I mean, it's like, the edits for the Jeezy verse. It's exactly why, Jeezy was trying to edit his joint, because as a younger man, maybe it is, niggas and bitches this, but as an older man, it seems kind of weird when you bring it into a intimate setting and,
Hmm.
uh, and, and you're still profane like that. You know what I mean? So, that's definitely something I got to work on. But I think it's again a freedom of speech thing.
Like I can't tell anybody else like what words they can and can't say if they're going to use that word. That's their prerogative.
Right.
But
Yeah.
just me myself, it's just something I don't really want to associate myself with anymore. And in my view, it's kind of a way of like having limited vocabulary. And I kind of feel like at this point in my life I've grown past it and moved past it. And one thing from the movie Coach Carter that stood out to me was this one scene when they're all calling each other like calling each other niggas, saying, "Yo, what's up, my nigga? You be my bigger nigga if you were any bigger." And then Coach Carter just fucking goes on.
Right. Yeah.
And
You
just
right
goes
though.
and
Yeah.
Coach Carter just goes off on them saying how like that word was used to discriminate against us and fuck with us, and by us using it as a term of endearment we tell other white people and other people that it's okay to use that word, so I don't want y'all to use that shit in front of me ever again. And I remember like watching that scene from that movie, and it kind of like struck a nerve with me. So I feel like after watching that movie and watching that scene, I started using that word less and less, and now I don't even use it anymore. Period, unless I'm like repeating the lyrics of a song or something.
So what about the people of Nagas? Does that have any correlation? Because you know I said it in one of my rhymes. Niggas is kings from a dynasty they couldn't pronounce. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Negas. And I'm not saying that that's the real etymology of the word. I'm not saying that. You know what I
mm,
mean? But there is that argument where it's like, no, we were kings. They couldn't pronounce it, so you put that southern nagus.
Hmm.
You know
That
what I mean?
they put that twang
That
on
twang on it is
it.
nagus. You know what I mean? And the word could have evolved from there. And us taking it back and dropping the er and doing the as. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Is that going back to the original etymology of the word, or is it are we playing this ping pong game with language? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Words do have power, but like I said before, like if and like Kurt is doing, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to hear that word, or you don't associate with that word and its connotation, because it's all about intent. It's all
Hmm.
about on how, and that's the whole thing about the card for white people. You know what I mean? It's the intent of it. Are you using it with the hard ER? Or are you using it with the the term of endearment? But if
Hmm.
you want to separate yourself from that, because the language is it's not agreed upon. It's hard to build an understanding or a community using words that aren't agreed upon by the community. You know what I'm saying? If they mean different things, then the intent is different. You know what I mean? So if you want to just keep yourself out of that and make it simple, that is fine too. And you find yourselves in circles, where your energy is vibrating with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people who might not be able to find a word, or the vocabulary isn't as big, because I pride myself on a good vocabulary as well, but
Hmm.
I feel like being ignorant sometimes too.
I get it. Yeah, I
It-
get it.
it's like almost a way to play with language. You know what I'm saying? It's like comedians too. They take a daring step into communication, you know what I'm saying, and language and intent of the words or jokes, you know what I'm saying, that they put out there.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody says "What's up, my nigga?" to me, I'm not gonna take any offense to it. But like I said, it's just something I don't like to promote myself.
All right.
So if I don't really want other people to say it, specifically white people, then I'm not gonna say it myself either.
I'm
Yeah, I
standing.
feel you.
Yeah, I ain't
Yeah,
mad. Stand on
understandable.
that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, and if other people use it, like you being for one example, like I'm not mad at that either. Like you said, freedom of speech. However, somebody chooses to use their words or use their speech is their own business,
Mhm.
as long as they're not trying to hurt anybody else.
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Benzino was recently on Drink Champs last week, and this shit was very interesting to say the very least, as he opened up mainly about his issues with Eminem, which goes back over 20 years, and it got to the point where Benzino was actually crying in the middle of his feelings about Eminem, talking about, I don't hate Eminem. I don't know him. I don't hate white people. We need to stop the violence. We need to stop this
yo,
shit. We need to move on. We need to grow up. This shit's played out, yo. Can't be doing this shit no more. Oh my god.
Yo, was this Drink Champs episode before or after he got robbed?
I
But
guess probably after.
yo, man. I don't get Benzino, man. Like 1 minute on Drink Champs, he's saying that FMNM, this and that, and then the next minute he's crying, like emotional crying. Like he must have been super lit because we've seen somebody at that level when they're drinking,
Yep.
and like he just let it all out. Like he just got mad emotional. Some people when they drink, they either get mad violent or they get mad emotional, and
Or mad
yeah,
friendly in a sexual way too.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So, but let me ask you guys this question: what do you guys think about Drink Champs recently? Do you think it's hurting the culture more now, or you think it's helping the culture? Because I feel like I don't know, it's changed over the last, let's say, few months. That I don't know. I feel like it's not the same as how it used to be, and I feel like it's turning into more gossip and more like more about like controversy and going viral. Than I feel like it's about what's doing right for the culture. I don't know. That's just how I see it over the last. I just seen a notice a change in the show because it's got. I think like when things get so big and they get to a certain level that things get watered down and they only do things just for views and for likes and and to make the investors happy. But I don't know. I feel like there's been a change with that show. I don't know if you guys notice a difference, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about that.
I'll say this much about Drink Champs. Being on that show, you're gonna need at least 1 week to recover from the hangover you're gonna get from there. Holy shit.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I'll say this. I'll piggyback to what you said. I like the stories from it, like having AZ being on there for one example, and Method Man and all these other old school heads from the past, like hearing stories from them, like crazy stories like you never even knew happened, things along those
Yeah.
lines. Those parts of it are good, but also at the same time with the whole drinking aspect of it, the heavy drinking aspect of it at that, and not to mention, yeah, the gossipy aspect of it. Yeah, that those parts of it can be a turnoff. I do get you from that perspective. I do get that.
I did see a shift in Drink Champs, and I wasn't sure what it was. But then I tried to watch the Ludacris
Okay, a few weeks
episode,
ago. Yeah, I got you.
and he had just came off a hiatus um, for drinking. He was like 20 days sober.
Hmm.
So um, I don't know. I don't know the sustainability because you know what I'm saying we care about Nori. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you know you can't. Like Kurt said, you can't. You know, if it takes a week to hang over, how many shows are they really doing? In you know, in a week, right? So how
Hmm.
long is it going to take to recover from that? And you know all the things that go with that, with the heavy drinking. But um, I'm just not interested anymore in the interviews. Maybe it's some of the people. So I
Hmm.
see this. I see this shift that you're talking about,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't sure what to, um, you know, how to really place it or what to make of it. Um, and I'm still not with your point, but I am looking into it because I like because you know Nori made that switch to media, you
Right.
know, from a rapper to media, and I really do commend him for that.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely
know,
much props and for
um,
creating a successful podcasting platform like they have.
absolutely, absolutely,
Even Joe Budden too. For as much as we criticize him, you also have to give him props for that too.
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, props due to both of them, and Nori really he just has the personality. He's not a journalist, but he tries to be,
Right.
and you know, just seeing that. And I think that that vulnerability that he has that shows up on camera in these interviews, and it gives us another perspective because um, you know he was a street dude,
Hmm.
you know, and you know the way he talks brings me back to New York, you know, brings me back to Queens,
Oh yeah.
you know, so you know, I actually do find out I'm able to put things together and I'm like, wow, this is, you know what I mean? This is dope right here. Like, Nori, you did that, you know? But is it gossip? Yes, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, does it degrade the culture? Um,
It stirs up controversy and it
right,
causes
right.
causes old
Yeah.
wounds to be, I would say old wounds to be like reopened, I would say.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but is that a result of just, you know, what this game is? Or is there a better approach that you think that he could be taken personally? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff like that,
Mhm.
Joe Budden, that's all it is, gossip too, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think yeah, maybe it's just a shift in the media, and I feel like I said, he's so big at this point. Like they're trying to keep the revenue dollars coming in. They're trying to keep the ratings, and once you get to a certain level, it's all about like you know you're just staying up and getting the ratings and making your investors happy. So
Yeah. Yeah, Mike can relate to this. It's happened to a lot of our favorite movie franchises where like the first movie or two be good, but then it becomes such a marketing ploy and all that, and it becomes all about the money, and they keep popping out sequels, and they all end up sucking, and it like waters down the whole product. I don't know if I could say the same thing about like Drink Champs per se, but I do get the whole vibe of it of where it can turn into gossip with everybody drinking so heavily and getting so deep into their feelings like Benzino fucking did in this episode. I will say it was kind of sad to see, but at the same time, it was fucking entertaining.
Yeah,
oh
and
yeah,
Holy
definitely,
shit.
no, it's
definitely.
brilliant. It's actually a brilliant show, bro. He gets you lit.
Honestly, I would
He
watch a.
gets you lit. So he breaks down all the walls and he gets all the good.
Honestly,
He gets all the
if he
good.
had like Benzino as an additional part of the show and every week he just had a meltdown like that, I'd watch the show regularly.
That's funny.
Benzino's weekly meltdown.
Oh man, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. That's
Yeah, I
funny.
don't know if I
That's
want to
more
see
like
it.
the Breakfast Club or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's a
All
that's
right, let's get back
a
into the whole
segment for the
Benzino
Breakfast
and
Club.
Eminem thing. So yeah, Benzino was like crying, getting all into his feelings, talking about how he has more money than all these niggas, he's better than all these niggas, whatever. He started the source, yada 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 yada. Yeah, said all that about Eminem, and then a few days later, he did another interview going on to say that he still thinks Eminem sucks as a rapper, and anybody who's with Eminem, fuck them too. And I'm officially the Eminem Slayer. I ruined Eminem's career. He couldn't respond to Rap Elvis. It's a rap for him. He sucks. He's not on my level. Yeah, from seeing that clip, I could just tell he just did that shit to save face. He like watched that clip of Drink Champs when he sobered up and said like, "Yo, what the fuck was all this? I got to do something about this." And then he did that interview 2 days later to like make himself look better, which did not work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that his friends went ham on him in a group chat, making fun of him for going on Drink Champs and acting like that. So I'm sure that's what that was. His boys got on him and he was like, "Nah, let me do something. Let me make sure I go back out there and correct myself." I think that's what that was.
Yeah, everybody just trying to stay relevant in their own way. I mean, yo, props due to the Source. You know, what I'm saying the Source magazine, another cultural staple.
It was
For a long
definitely,
time.
yes,
Definitely
definitely.
when I was
Yeah,
growing
it's
up.
not the same anymore, but definitely like in the '90s and 2000s, yeah, Source was mad popping.
What's his name from the Math Hoffa podcast? Shout out to
Oh, okay, I know
Math
you're talking about.
Hoffa. You know what I'm saying? That dude, the dude with the dreads or with the locks, sitting next to him in the middle. He
I know you're talking
worked
about.
for.
I don't know his name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he used to work for the Source too. Um, so I like seeing people reinvent themselves and stay in the game. I was never a fan of Benzino's music. I don't
A
think
lot
you
of
know what I'm
people
saying.
weren't.
Yeah, me either. Yeah,
Uh,
he had a couple songs here and there, but yeah, overall, I wasn't
I
really a
couldn't
fan
even
either.
tell you if he did or not. I think his biggest thing was just him and the Eminem thing, and I don't really know much more about him than that.
And that's the vibe I'm getting from him. He just constantly keeps talking about Eminem, Eminem this and Eminem that. And the reason why Eminem is not responding is because Eminem doesn't give a shit about him. Eminem has a million and one better things to do than think about some dude that he beefed with 20 years ago. So it's like clear that like his only way of like keeping himself relevant these days is by still talking about Eminem. That's exactly the vibe I get from the dude.
It's like the beef that nobody wanted, like nobody really cares about. Like I don't know why they're beefing. Like who cares? It's like
Right.
20 years too
Eminem
late.
doesn't
Like,
care.
but I guess we need something to talk about.
Yeah, Eminem bodied his ass on the Nail in the Coffin track in like 2002. Eminem never had to respond to him again after that.
Ever.
Yeah, so I don't know how this got restarted or reignited. Now I don't get it why it started back up.
But I will say that Rap Elvis track, admittedly, was pretty solid. I'll give him that. That Rap Elvis track was pretty good.
That was the Benzino response, right?
Yeah,
Or
the most recent one.
his
Yeah, that
track?
was the
Yeah,
Benzino
yeah,
one. Yeah, I'll give him
yeah. Did
props.
something pretty solid.
It was good, but bro, Eminem, even if Eminem is older now, even if Eminem doesn't do drugs anymore, Eminem would still body the shit out of him in a diss. Body the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, there's like night and day difference between Benzino and Eminem as far as rhyming and rapping. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
no contest there.
Yeah, no contest. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah,
All
no
right, but
contest.
another person who's not really big on Eminem, as well as the people in his own hood, is Bootsy, as he recently opened up saying how like nobody from his hood, himself included, listened to Eminem or ever jammed to Eminem. He said like he never once heard anybody say, "Yo, put on that Eminem, put that Eminem shit on." He said Eminem's a good rapper. He said Eminem can rhyme, but as far as like jamming to his music and fucking with his music, he does not, and neither does anybody who comes from his hood.
Who wants to go first on this one? I got an interesting take on this one because, like, I feel like
Um,
well,
Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
say
Go speed that up.
I'll take the baton, but I just feel like I respect Eminem as rapper and everything he's done for the culture, how he came in the game, starting really from the bottom and becoming like a household name and breaking records for selling records. I definitely respect him, but to what Boosie is saying, I do feel like there is some truth to it. I've really never been like in a car or with a group of friends and be like, "Yo, put that Eminem on," or like I've never been like that where I'm driving around hearing people blasting Eminem. I really loved his, I really loved some of the songs on his albums, but I feel like a lot of people, think all they're gonna expect from his music is like kind of like the commercial, the catchy Mickey Mouse shit that he's put out,
Wacky
to like
shit.
the commercial songs, the wacky shit. So I could see why they maybe think like most of his albums are like that. But if you really listen to his music, you understand he's a little bit deeper than that. But I could see that why people from like the hood may not be like all into the to the antics and whatnot. And also at the same time, the music might not resonate with them because it maybe from like a different experience. I definitely respect them. I just don't feel like when it comes to like people's favorite artists, I don't think he's up there as far as like their favorite, but people do respect him for his art and his craft. That's kind of like how I look at it. But what do you guys think?
So I kind of agree with you, right? I feel like I don't feel like niggas in the hood be listening to Eminem. I've never heard
I don't think so
it.
either, man. I've never been around anybody who's like, yo, put that on.
Right. Because when I was growing up, um, the Slim Shady album came out in what, 98? 98.
99. We're gonna get into that in a few
Oh,
minutes.
okay. But yeah, I was on my Wu-Tang then because of Wu-Tang Forever. That was like 97, right? So it was
Hmm.
all being an MC was all about lyrics. You know what I'm saying? It was being lyrical, right?
You had to be nice.
Yeah, you had to be
Hmm.
nice, right? And I was never that street dude. So a lot of the street music, um, even though it was good, some of it was good, and I rock with some of it. Like what I'm saying, I rock with some Onyx, rock with a lot.
Hmm.
Boot camp. Like street music. But
Yeah, yeah,
my focus was always lyrical. So if you could be both, then cool. But I would pick the lyrical over the street, right?
Definitely every day, all day.
So
hmm,
so it was even in my where I was growing up. Um, if you're really not from like a big city or like a hood from a city, then you probably are listening to him. Man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, Eminem is considered one of the greatest for a reason. You know what I mean? Like he can go toe to toe with any one of these rappers, even though you don't dance to his music.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, what Boosie do? Wipe me down?
yeah. He had a couple other songs. He's definitely like an underground, like
Yeah,
street
and
artist, I
Eminem
would
sounded
say.
weird on Smack That. So you know what I mean? Even though it was a hit,
Hmm.
Well, to be fair, Eminem was like mad fucked up in the head and like just not popping at the time. Like yeah, that was like right after Proof died too. Yeah, he was not in a good place then. So I give him a pass for that one.
yeah. Props due to M.
And he was on drugs.
But yeah, and props due to the Boosie because when I was living in when I was in like Maryland, like Baltimore, um, I was living in the hood, and when I tell you they rock with Boosie hard in the
Yeah,
hood, they rock with him hard. You know what I'm saying? I was it was like a forced education. You know what I
because
mean?
not to cut you off, because I feel like people from the hood can relate to Boosie more because he's kind of like been through the same experiences versus Eminem, who he did come from like a poor background, but I don't know, just people just grab it, just
It's a different.
um
It's a different kind. It's a different
yeah,
struggle. It's a
it's a
different
different struggle, and
struggle.
people grab are more like I would say they relate more to Boosie's struggle than the Eminem struggle.
Yeah, yeah. And I get it, and and Eminem's raps are a little bit more exaggerated as well.
Yeah,
Not everything is true. You know what I'm saying? He does it for the grandeur of it.
shock
And
value.
Controversy.
Yeah,
yeah, I got and Boosie's real. You know what I'm saying? He's down to earth. If you're not if you're not concerned about the lyrics, of course you don't understand M. Because it's like because everybody puts this thing on it like he ate his mom and blah blah blah, killing his wife. Yeah, okay, but nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't listen to Eminem's music because you hate your mom. That's not why you listen to his music, yo. You listen to his music because of the crazy shit that he says
Yeah,
and the way he says it.
And also some of the stories he tells, like Stan being one example.
Right, that was a
that
great
was a great
song.
song.
Incredible song, incredible song. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
That's probably like top
One of his best songs
top
ever.
hip hop songs of all time.
Hell, and I know it's even a fucking, like stereotypical song, but he had this song called Drug Ballad on the Marshall Mathers LP. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. That's the kind of party I want to go to.
Uh,
And also don't want to go to at the same time.
yeah, you know what's funny too? Like I was so into the the lyrics of it, right? I was such a hip hop head that I kind of stopped listening to M after um, the Slim Shady LP. Like I didn't really
That
like.
was like when he first.
Yeah, yeah. Like when he first came out, like because I had heard about him before because he was rapping with like Lyricist Lounge and those dudes over there with Most Def and he was rocking with some Jersey dudes at the time. So I heard him come up and I was like, you know what I'm saying, the kid's nasty. Um, but when it started going so commercial, I didn't really pay attention to it. Like, of course, it's not like I could ignore it, right? It was
Mhm.
all over the place, but I
Yeah,
wasn't. I wasn't copying albums anymore. I copped the Slim Shady, but I didn't cop anything after that. I heard it. I didn't like. I gave it a listen through. I was like, "Yep, that's M. He still got it." You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I was like, "Yep, that's M," but I think this one was a miss. You know, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the detriment to a lyrical MC, like an MC versus, a street. Rapper, you know what I mean? Because
a rapper.
you have
Yeah,
to keep it inventive, and something that people can relate to. You know what I mean? People are always going to relate to rappers. That's why half the games sound the same now. Because
yeah. There's no
yeah, and
creativity.
it's not.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. There is creativity. We just have to look
Well,
harder for some of that
yeah,
creativity these
they're
days.
Yeah,
more focused on
yeah. It's not as,
what people are going through and being real, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? They're more focused on that than actually spin, making actual songs. Like, you know what I mean? Rappers ain't rapping no more. They're going like real rappers like Lupe or something like that. He's off there teaching at Harvard or Yale or something.
Oh
Um,
shit.
Jizza, Jizza is teaching at MIT. Like, you know what I mean? Like rappers ain't rapping no more.
Hell, RZA did the score for fucking Kill Bill.
Exactly, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like M. I don't. He made a couple beats that popped.
Smack that being one of them.
Right, Smack that being one of them. So he's an okay producer, right? He made some joints for 50 that popped. So let's get in that. Um,
mhm,
Not the greatest actors. He played his story well. I'm sure he had a lot to
mhm.
pull from. But is he's not really doing movies and he's not trying to be a producer or nothing. You know what I'm saying? All he does is rap. And he's one of the best. So if it's not like creative or he might try to push the envelope sometimes, and it might miss. But that's why he's putting it out. He's not trying to put out club bangers. You don't care about anybody bumping that shit. Most Eminem records you probably gonna bump in your headphones, not in the car.
Yeah, that's kind of how like I see it. Yeah,
But I'll say his first three albums were incredible. I'll say the second one's the best, but just in general, his first three albums, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and also the Eminem Show, all top notch. The two albums after that, Encore and Relapse, they were on some other shit. You could like definitely tell like he wasn't in a good place, and yeah, the vibe was off. And then from Recovery on, the one from 2010, I've still liked him since then. I still fuck with his shit, but admittedly, it's not the same as it was like back in that like late 90s, early 2000s period. That was by far his peak, and a peak that most rappers have never had at that. To be honest with you.
Right, right.
Yeah, he definitely go down as one of the the biggest selling artists of all time, and he definitely left his mark on the game. Without him, there wouldn't be 50 Cent, and without 50 Cent, there wouldn't be G Unit. So if it wasn't for him, and working with Dr. Dre and getting all that started, then a lot of rappers wouldn't be here as well. So you definitely got to give him props. He definitely left the mark
Yeah.
on the culture. So whether you like his music or not, he's definitely definitely a pioneer
Absolutely.
in his own right.
Right. Yeah. It feels like every time somebody wants to go viral, they just talk about Eminem.
Yeah, I think he's an easy target because they think he's in retirement and like he won't come back out. Yeah, you might catch him on the wrong day. He might
Right.
come, put something together.
And he still has Grammys and still even has an Oscar.
Yeah, he still got that.
Yeah, for real. You did. What I mean, you did a lot, homie. Like
More than Benzino ever did.
and very true. I know most of his hiatus was he was just trying to raise his daughter. Just trying to be around for his daughter.
Yeah, even the
You
night
know
he
what
won the
I'm saying?
Oscar. Even
And
the night he won the Oscar, he skipped the Oscars because he just wanted to hang out with his kids.
yeah, yeah, he ain't tripping. He ain't tripping over that. Yo, him's good.
Yeah, that's why he hasn't responded to Benzino when he probably won't respond to Bootsy either. He doesn't have to.
No, he's already solidified, man. He doesn't have to waste his time responding to people like that. He's good.
He doesn't, and he doesn't even have to reinvent himself. Like he doesn't have to come out with anything new ever again. He'd be straight.
Yeah, and like King Khan said, you don't have to like his music. It doesn't have to be your favorite overall, but you got to give him props where it's due. You got to give him flowers where
Yeah.
it's due because I always found that, statement where people would say, like, if Eminem were black, he would just be another good rapper. That'd be no better than saying that if Larry Bird were black, he would have just been another good player. It's a dumbass
Well,
That's
statement.
good
Isaiah
analogy.
Thomas said that, didn't he?
Dennis Rodman initially said it, but then Isaiah Thomas
Ah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, that's right.
defended him and said pretty much said the same thing.
Cosign.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, cosign. Definitely put the
Yeah.
check mark on that.
Yeah, just a stupid
He
statement. Yeah, it's a dumb statement.
put the ha ha he before it and after it. So you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, dudes are just salty. He eliminated you guys from the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, but let's get into our anniversaries real fast. As this past week, actually today, as of our recording, marks the 26-year anniversary of the original interruption of the award show acceptance speech. As Old Dirty Bastard at the Grammy Awards interrupted the acceptance speech for the artist who won Song of the Year, talking about how Wu-Tang should have won. And this is basically how he broke it down. As the award winners for Song of the Year were coming out, he gets on the stage with the mic saying, "All right, put the music down. Can I have your attention, please? I bought this expensive ass suit today and came to the award show because I thought Wu-Tang was going to win. But then for whatever reason, we didn't win. But y'all got to understand something. We're for the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. Puff Daddy's good and all, but Wu-Tang is the best. Wu-Tang is the best." So before Kanye West did it to Taylor Swift in 2009 at the VMAs, Old Dirty Bastard did it at the Grammys in '98. King Khan, what were your thoughts of this when this happened at the time, and did you think ODB had a point with what he said?
Yeah, I do think Wu Tang is definitely for the children. I agree with him there, and yeah, he was right because at that time Diddy was at the shiny suit era, and he was on mad commercial and and whatnot at that time. And Wu Tang, I'm thinking this is when Wu Tang Forever was out, if I'm not
Yes, that's the
mistaken. Yeah,
album. That was the
yeah, and then this
album.
is when
Yeah.
Triumph and all these other songs were out, and yeah, Wu Tang definitely always been ahead of their time in their lyrics. They always talk about different things that a lot of rappers don't touch on, different subjects, and they're mad diverse with their vocabulary and whatnot. So yeah, definitely, I agree with ODB and what he was saying as far as Wu Tang being for the children and having a message in their songs. So I definitely agree with him. But yeah, like you said, this was like the Kanye moment before Kanye did it, and yeah, it was a moment that I remember, vividly. I remember him walking on stage and having his rant. So it was definitely something I remember from my childhood. But yeah, what do you guys think of that moment?
oh, that's yo, old dirt dog, man. Rest in peace, for real. Um, but he was the man, the innovator in so many ways. Like the Wu Tang inspired so many styles, yo. Um, and I would say in my life too, like Meth was probably my favorite rapper. Um, RZA inspired me to produce. The Jizza inspired me to be like to put a message in the rhyme.
Right.
You know what I mean? To have something to teach in the rhyme. And the list goes on. Deck, he was that smooth cat. And Ghost had the slang. Ghost and Ray had crazy
Hmm.
slang.
And they made you want to go out and do crime. That's another story.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But you know, I think Dirty was to agree with Dirty being a first Kanye that moment being the precipice to the Kanye moment. Um,
Yeah.
but I think Dirty as an artist, as a person, as a character, um, everybody love you so lovable. You know,
Hmm.
um, he's hated on Kanye after he did that shit. But
Because Kanye did it in a very douchebag way.
yeah, and then he performed that song, "Let's Have a Toast for the Douchebags," like right after
Yeah,
that.
the next year, yeah, because after that, yeah, because after
Oh
that
yeah.
incident with Taylor Swift, everybody hated him. He even went on Jay Leno the next night, and Jay Leno bitched him out. Hell, even Obama called him a jackass.
Right,
The
right,
fucking president shitted on him for doing that. So yeah, he basically disappeared for a year, and then when he came back, he made his first appearance. It was at the VMAs the next year, and he performed that song.
brilliant,
Yeah. With Pusha T. I remember that.
brilliant. That was a brilliant play by Kanye, but that nigga's still crazy. But he has a lot of backlash. He has way more backlash than Dirty would have.
Look, ODB, I mean, I don't agree with, interrupting somebody else's speech, like, to get your point across. Like, I don't agree with doing it that way. But at least in this case, he wasn't interrupting, like, the people winning the award and saying to them, oh, these other people over there should have won the award instead of you. Like, at least he wasn't doing some shit like that. So I get it. But I will say, no disrespect to Wu Tang's Forever or Puff Daddy's No Way Out from that year. I feel like the album that should have won Best Rap Album that year was 18th Letter from Rakim. My
Interesting.
opinion.
Possibly. Yeah. It was good, but I think yeah, I think Wu Tang. Well, I don't know. With
Wu
No Way
Tang,
Out.
No Way Out
Wu-Tang
was good
love,
too.
man.
No
Yeah.
Way Out was also good.
They were all good in their own rights. Like you can't be mad at either one of those albums. They were all good in their own ways. I just felt like Wu Tang Forever, if it was like shorter, then it have to be
That's a
too
good point.
like
Yeah,
sometimes when the double CDs they have like extra songs that don't need to really be on there. So
Life After Death, this two being one example.
yeah,
yeah,
there's a couple songs that didn't need to be on there. So, but yeah, definitely No Way Out has some joints on there as well. Victory was on there. A couple other joints that were dope.
And also not even the fact that they had some dope tracks on there. They were on fire during that time. Like P. Diddy was
yeah.
everywhere in 97. Yo, that was the hottest Bad Boy ever was. Even after Biggie dying, that was still like the hottest and most popular they ever were.
Yeah, and then
Right.
Diddy and Mace would pop in with the "Can't Nobody Hold Me Down" that track.
And More Money,
So
More
yeah, they did their
Problems. Yeah,
thing, man.
everything.
Yeah, those were some big records, man. At that time, some big joints, man. So, but yeah, but I definitely yeah, like I said, you can't go wrong with any one of those albums. It's like it depends on the person, what you rock with more. But yeah, either one of those albums were pretty good at that time.
Yeah, I give it up to all those albums. Props to all those albums. But yeah, that was a great time in history for great music, yo. It was like everyone had a different sound. You know,
Hmm.
to be honest, which is and this may be me not just not listening to other artists as much, like because I don't like to be influenced too much, right? And at the same time,
That makes
from
sense.
another generation, and the music is changed. Now I can appreciate the vibe. that some of these artists bring. But I couldn't tell you any one of their names if I tried, and I couldn't even remember like if I heard them again, who would be. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody sound like Future to me, and Future is Outcast. Future is Dungeon Family. So I feel like that's as far
Mhm.
as I need to go. You know what I'm saying? I like Kendrick. I like Cole. But all these other niggas sound like Future.
Yeah, they trying to emulate that, and they talk about drugs and this and that in their songs. Like it just gets
Yeah,
old after a
that was
while.
the
Yeah,
thing about back then. Like everybody was different. Everybody had their own unique sound, own unique style. But these days, especially with the women, they're like all pretty much clones of each other.
yeah. Everybody trying to be Nicki. Well, and it all came from Kim.
Yeah, Kim originated
You
with
know what I'm
that.
Yeah,
saying?
she was the originator of that style. Yeah.
That's where that whole image came from. But shout out to Nicki. She has done a lot of amazing things in with music. Uh, uh, who else? I even give it a Cardi.
Yeah, she's built
But
a good name for
Cardi,
herself.
she got writers and stuff. She, Cardi was trained to be there. I think I remember Nicki before she was Nicki Minaj. I remember when she
Yeah,
was
she's
in
from Queens. Yeah, she's from
Garage.
Queens also.
Like I said, like I seen a lot of these artists come up, but as soon as they hit that commercial, um, I just I'm good. You know,
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
because I know they're doing it for different reasons. I'm not hating on them. And some tracks I do like in the newer of some of the artists. But I like to see evolution in an artist. What are you doing now? Like I love to see that the roots are they got a spot on the late night show or something like that. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And I think that's a great evolution. Um, Black Thought still spin, but I don't think he's gonna put out an album. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm. Well, actually, he has. He's put out albums the last couple years,
yes,
solo
that's what's
albums.
up. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
if you check, I think something volume. I forgot the name of it, but something volume one
And
and
even
two
someone like
dropped over the
Nas,
last year or
and
two.
even someone like
He
Nas having
definitely
like a
has.
stake in Lyft, and also producing documentaries for Showtime and things along those lines. Yeah, it's great to see a lot of these rappers make
Right.
that growth into other areas to the point where they don't really need to rap anymore.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Got to diversify your bonds. We learned that shit from Wu-Tang
Yeah.
too, man.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah, but
man.
I wish someone would kind of take a page out of ODB's book and maybe next year at the Grammys, just get on the mic in the middle of the show and like just make a speech saying, broadcast the hip hop categories, you douchebags.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Jay-Z was trying to bring on Killer Mike at the Grammys, but
He
that's when
was.
Killer Mike got locked up, or not
Arrested. He got
locked up, but
arrested.
got had that situation where he was arrested. So Jay-Z he couldn't come on stage, but Jay-Z that was his intention was to bring him up on stage during his acceptance
Oh
speech.
yeah, because Jay Z was talking about the fact that the Grammys need to do better, and yeah, kind of calling them out in a sense.
Yeah. So we lost that moment unfortunately.
But we've been not getting play. From the first hip hop Grammy to all the way to Killer Mike's, we stay not
Yeah.
getting no play on TV. That's why a lot of people boycotted the Grammys back in the day.
In '89, yeah.
That's why M won't go back to the Grammys. M ain't never going back to a Grammy.
Hell, Jay Z boycotted the Grammys one year over shit that had nothing to do with him. He boycotted because they wouldn't nominate DMX when he had two number one albums in the same year. And I support him
Shit.
100% for that. Yeah, what kind of
Right.
bullshit
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
that?
that was
What kind of
nuts.
bullshit is that? And I'll say this, we just don't need to watch that shit anymore. Like every year, we always have this hype for it and this anticipation for it, but they always disappoint us. No different than the fucking NBA All Star game from last weekend. Yeah, we just gotta kind of stop
Yeah.
giving these
Yeah.
things our attention
Got
because
to.
every year they're just gonna keep letting us down.
Facts.
Yeah. The NBA the NBA is they losing out on a lot of opportunities right now. No one's looking for the NBA this year.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore. I still enjoy it, but it is not the same anymore. I'll admit that. But the All Star game, especially, yo, the winning team scored over 200 points. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's
Who the fuck
Yeah,
scores
that was
200
wild.
points in one game?
when you don't play defense. That's what happens.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but in any event, yeah, that ODB moment will definitely go down in history. Look, I'm not a fan of interrupting people's speeches, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Kanye one. That Kanye one was just douchebagness to its highest power.
Yeah, in a way, I think it helped Taylor's career more than
Yeah,
anything
it
because
did.
people felt bad for her. I don't think if that moment ever happened, I don't think she would be as. I think she would be big, but I don't think she would be on this level, Michael Jackson level.
I'll even be honest, I didn't even know who she was until that happened either.
Right, right.
All right, so yes, let's shift gears. So this past week marked the 25-year anniversary of the Roots' arguably most successful and best album, Things Fall Apart. I would have to say this album is kind of like their Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, etc. Although Philadelphia Half Life was dope too, this album is probably the one that solidified them the most
Yep.
with You Got Me, The Next Movement,
Oh, yeah.
Adrenaline, the ode to hip hop, the song with Common, yeah, and fucking the Dynamite. Yeah, this album had a lot of fucking bangers on it. It's definitely a great body of work from start to finish. And it just goes to show you how great they even were back then. And even 26 years later, they are still rocking and still performing and still doing their thing. But I feel like this album, Things Fall Apart, was like what really made them, kind of like the roots that we know and see today. King Khan and Mike, what were your first thoughts of when you first heard Things Fall Apart, and did you guys become more fans of the Roots after this album, or were you guys already big fans of them beforehand?
This was like the album that really put me on to them. And like I heard their like What We Do, like I heard that song before, which was on the last album before this. So I was somewhat like, they were on my radar, but this is the album that actually made me become a fan of them and their music. And it's just a dope concept and a dope video with You Got Me with Erica Badu. And also that song also featured Eve, which a lot of people, I don't know, she was never really on
Yeah,
the
he was
credits
on
like
it.
that. She was never on the credits
Yeah, she
like
was
that,
on it.
and she wasn't on in the video either. So, but I think did that come out before like the Rough Riders and all that before Eve was like really popular?
Yeah.
If I
It was
remember,
like around the same time. It was around the same. It was the same year, but yeah, maybe a little bit before.
but she wasn't like a household name yet
Yeah, she was
when
about
that
to get
song
it.
came.
Right.
She didn't become that until like more like later in the year. But also another funny thing, Jill Scott was on the original version of You Got Me. She actually sang the original version as opposed to Erica Badu, but the label had Erica Badu put on it instead because she was a bigger name at the time. And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, I think Jill Scott actually wrote the song, if I'm not mistaken.
And she sang the hook
Yeah,
originally
she,
before she was replaced by
yeah,
Erica
yeah, that's
Badu.
who. Nah, but yeah, it was dope. I just love how they brought like the live band and the instruments into hip hop, and then you have Black Thought rapping his ass off and spitting
Oh
fire,
my god.
and just a dope, it's a dope
Yeah.
just a dope combination of rapping, and also the band. So just dope to see that, and I love that song, "The Next Movement." That was probably my favorite song on that album, and I love the video concept of it. I mean, they used to play it on Rap City all the time. How
Shout out to
yeah,
Rap
remember
City.
the video was changing, like they were like upside down. If I'm getting that video right, they were like upside down, and the camera angles were moving around and whatnot. So it was just dope concept and a dope video, and yeah, just shouts out to the Roots, man. They've been killing it for the last 25 years, and it's dope to see how they started from there and then where they're at now. And I don't know if you remember the album before this, they actually had some beef with Biggie.
Yeah, they
That
did.
they actually had some beef with Biggie, and they're kind of like that. What We Do song was kind of like making fun of like rappers with the whole champagne lifestyle and the extravagant videos and whatnot, and they were kind of making fun of it. But the video kind of looked like it was like the One More Chance video, so to made it seem like they were making fun of Biggie or coming at him subliminally, and Biggie didn't really like that, and it caused a little issue amongst them, and whatever. The Questlove tried to fix things, and he wrote a letter to Biggie, but he never got a chance to give that letter to him because Biggie passed away before he was able to kind of squash that. So just a sad story, and much props to the Roots for where they started and where they're at now and how they evolved throughout the years.
Where props due to them. I just love that. I love that album. It came out in that era. Yeah. So that era was like Common, Most Def. You know, Yep.
quality of those conscious
Yep.
rappers.
Yep. I was rocking with Erica Badu, Jill Scott. I think that album was kind of like what put me on to them.
Hmm.
And then to see the longevity of the people that were involved with that movement. Uh, Scott Storch was on that album, right? Scott Storch was a part of the Roots when
I did hear that somehow. I did hear that
um,
somewhere before. That he was originally a part of the group, like but like behind the scenes, he wasn't really known like that yet.
right, he wasn't known like that yet. I think he got his break when he started doing some stuff with Dre. Um,
Yeah,
um, for the Chronic 2000. So it was like right after that, where Scott Storch blew up. It was like Slum Village. Those were another dudes really
yeah, that was
behind
another group,
them.
conscious
Yeah,
group.
yo, like a lot of dudes I was introduced to. When I took a different tone from Wu-Tang or Nas or
Hmm.
or Onyx or something like that. I took a different vibe, and I was able to find all of these guys in the Roots. Definitely opened that door for me.
Good shit.
Yeah, definitely a dope album, classic.
Yeah, dope album, one of the most influential groups in the game, period. And yeah, just another reminder of why that late 90s hip hop era was some shit to remember and some shit we will never ever forget. Yeah, and Philly was represented heavy on this album from DJ Jazzy Jeff being on it, also Eve being on it, Jill Scott originally being on it. They could have gotten Will Smith to be on it. That would have been dope too.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would have
Imagine, yeah,
been.
imagine Will Smith on a Roots track. They could even still do that now.
I don't think anybody's checking for that
He
now.
could do a song called "Smack the Shit Out of You."
Yeah, maybe it
Right,
could.
right. Kids.
Oh shit! Yo, I could see it now. He could be like his Mike Lowry character in Bad Boys. He could like implement that into it.
Yeah, well, that'd be a major hit.
But I will say, Roots are by far the best prodigies to ever come out of Philly, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry, Cassidy.
Right, right. I was gonna
Yeah.
All right, but shifting gears, that very same day, we had the release of Eminem's first commercial album, the Slim Shady LP. And this is the album that made Eminem a household name. And this is the album that began everybody's love hate relationship with Eminem, as his lyrics and his content and his videos, among other things, were very controversial, very cutting edge, and pissed a lot of people off. And to no surprise, the person who helped produce this album was the man who was a part of a group that did piss a lot of people off a decade earlier. That is the one and only Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre definitely put Eminem on the map the same way that Eminem helped put 50 Cent on the map a few years later. Crazy, and it's crazy even 25 years later, even earlier today on the show, we're still talking about Eminem as one of those greats and one of the most legendary figures in the history of this game, whether you are a fan of his content or you're not a fan of his content. What were you guys' first impressions of Eminem when you first came across him during this period?
Oh, I just thought it was different. It was creative, and it kind of came out of left field because like nobody was really like knew or like who Eminem was, and then you saw Dr. Dre in his video, and like what so he kind of got the cosign off rip, and people at least kind of gave it a chance, and next thing you know, the song blew up, and then the rest is history and what he became. So yeah, I like the concept of the guilty conscious record,
Oh, that shit's
like him and
incredible.
Dr. Dre. Yeah, that was a dope concept and a dope video. So, and I enjoy like songs when they have a concept or they're just mad creative and just try to push the envelope and try different things. So that's what kind of stood out to me with that album. And yeah, it was just kind of like just something that was different from like the boom bap and like you said the Wu Tangs and the other type of artists that were out at that time, hardcore artists. So this was like a kind of like a 180 difference from what was out.
Yeah, I really was a super fan of the lyricism that Eminem brought to the game. Like I did hear his, like I heard of him beforehand, but it wasn't really all that much. It was just this stuff with Raucus and maybe a few battles and stuff here and there. Um, but I was just coming into high school. I think I was like I think that was my first year in high school. I had just moved again. I had just moved to an all white high school.
Oh shit.
Also a bunch
Oh
of Slim Shady.
shit.
You went with
The
a bunch
same
of Slim
thing. The
Shadys,
same
huh?
thing happened to me in middle school.
And, then the video, I remember the video coming out. And I remember it being, something different that I could vibe out to lyrically, to really step my pen game up because it wasn't like I couldn't relate to the songs necessarily, um, but I thought the pen was phenomenal. So I was just like, I started to study him and his stanzas and the way he would put things together, to try to better my own craft. But he was definitely one of those guys in the game where he set a bar really high. It's tough to be a white rapper, um, because M is the bar. He doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's what everyone's gonna look at it as. You know what I mean? Um, because I mean, when's the last time we had a dope white rapper like before M? It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
because
I
you
can't
know what I'm
even.
the
saying?
Beastie Boys had their own appeal, but I wouldn't call them like the best rappers per se. And Vanilla Ice was what he was, and House of Pain had Jump Around, but I mean, what else did they really have besides that?
Yeah, they only had that one song, but that song was a banger though.
Yeah, hell
That
yeah, it's
song
a
was dope
banger.
though. That
But
shit still slaps.
yeah, I jammed to that shit all the time. But yeah, Eminem was like that first real white rapper where you just said to yourself, "Yo, this dude is nice, and he's fucking nice to the point where he can hang with all the other greats, whether it's Biggie, whether it's Nas, Big L, who's another dude we talked about last week. I'm not saying he's better than them, but he definitely deserves to at least be in that mix with them.
Yeah, he could hold his own against them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's definitely the impressions I got from Eminem when I first heard him at the time, and I just said to myself, like, "Yo, who the fuck is this dude?" Yeah, like a lot of his stuff, granted, was very wacky and like very controversial in many ways, and I can understand why some people would be turned off by it. But me personally, I was entertained by it. Hell, on the fucking album, he even had this song about giving this girl mushrooms, and the hook goes like, "I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. I
I
didn't
remember
mean to
that
bring
song.
you
That
in
song was
my
dope.
world." Yeah, that shit. But now it's my fault. Yeah, yeah, like shit like that was funny to me. Like shit like that was entertaining.
If you think about it, the shock value that he brought was pretty much like Redman, like the fantastical
Hmm.
rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Like the very
Yeah.
theatrical rhymes, trying to paint like these grandiose pictures. Um, but he was white doing it, and could I? Is Eminem better than Reggie? I guess.
Mm,
Yeah, he took it to another
I like. I
level.
don't know. I like
He
Redman.
took it
Redman.
to
That Muddy Waters,
yeah, me
man,
too.
and the shit that he did with
Yeah,
Method
classic.
Man.
I personally don't even think Eminem himself would say he was better than Redman. He probably wouldn't even say that himself.
Oh yeah, I don't think yeah, yeah. But
Redman was that dude, man.
yeah, for real. It still is for real.
Yeah, he's still rapping his ass off still to this
Still,
day.
still.
Great performer too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen him live. Him and Men in Red.
Which is funny. My favorite album from that year we're talking about right now was actually Blackout from Method Man and Redman.
That was a great album.
Oh yeah, that was a dope
Rock
album.
Wilder on the
Both of these albums are great, and also Black on Both Sides. I'll throw into that category too. But my favorite album from that year, '99, was Blackout, hands down.
Yeah, I jammed that album a lot.
Yeah, but back to Eminem real fast. Yeah, it's so crazy that he came up with like the whole Slim Shady concept because of the fact that his album before this, because he actually had an album that came out before this, like I think in '96, but it didn't pop off, and like people were kind of shitting on it, and it kind of like really made him angry and made him bitter, and that's how like the whole Slim Shady character was born because out of that, anger and hunger from like all that shit going down, and then once this album came out and Dr. Dre was behind it, yo, the rest was history. The fucking competition didn't have a chance.
Yeah, and I think that cosign really helped his career. I felt like if
Big
he didn't come
time.
out with Dr. Dre as like as his first commercial album, I don't think it would have resonated as much. But yeah, I feel like having that Dr. Dre co-sign and all the things Dr. Dre did with Snoop, NWA before, and those are big hits, and it made it easier for people to like accept Eminem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Also from where he came up from, and also being a part of that Up in Smoke tour from like the year after that. Yeah, that shit was huge. I know
yeah,
you
that's it
told me
was a
all
big
the time
tour.
that tour
Oh
was
yeah.
ridiculous.
That was one of the tours I wish I would have went to. My friends went, and I can't remember why I didn't go. My friends told me how much of a good time that was, but that lineup was stacked. Snoop, Dre, Exhibit, Eminem, like the whole crew was on
Dog
that tour.
Pound.
Yeah, everybody was on that tour.
But yeah, shout out to Eminem for this great album. Also, the great albums he came out with after this, and also for ripping Benzino a new asshole like he deserved. And if he were to rip
Word.
Benzino again, I would not be mad at it.
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I wishful
I
thinking.
wouldn't be mad at it
All
either.
right, but anyway, before we
Yeah.
get out of here, King Khan, let our listeners know what new releases they have to look forward to.
Yeah, I would say this week we got some new music from French Montana. He dropped his new mixtape albums called Mac and Cheese 5. He's had the Mac and Cheese series, it's been out for a while. And this album features Kanye, West Side Gun, Lil Wayne, Ross, Lil Baby, pretty much Jid, Lil Durk. So mad rappers are on this album. French Montana is always big with features, so it's a feature heavy album. So definitely check it out. It's about 21 tracks. Not really feeling the long albums with all these songs on there. Wish that some of these albums were a little bit shorter, like maybe like 15 tracks, but nonetheless, definitely something to check out this week. Also, SZA dropped a new track this week called Saturn, new R&B vibe. If you're into that, and then also there was a new joint definitely should check out is Ray Vaughn featuring Pusha T. It's called Problems, but there's a remix. It's called the Triangle Remix that flips the Wu-Tang Cream beat, which is a dope track, and it sounds like also that Pusha T's throwing some jabs at Jim Jones for like the back and forth they had over the last few months. So definitely a dope track,
That
and
should
you
be
should catch the
interesting.
visuals. Catch the visuals on because it's like a black and white video, and like it's just a dope concept with the video. So definitely should check out. But that's what I got, for this week. Just keep checking back, for new releases. I believe Schoolboy Q is dropping next week, so we'll have more on that once that's out.
And don't say the N word at his concerts either.
Yeah, and don't hold back
I'm
from
just
using that.
all right, but all right. So before we get out of here, King Khan, let our listeners know how they can follow us on social media and connect with us, and also Mike, let people know how they can follow you and connect with you too.
Yeah, so I'll go first. So if you want to connect with us or you have some ideas for the show or you want to be a guest, hit us up on social media at Shifting the Culture Podcast. You can also check out our website, shiftingtheculturepodcast.com, if you want to check out past episodes and also learn about, what else we got going on.
You can check me at beatsandbars.org for more information about the education program, the music education program, and all social media, Beats and Bars ATL. And you can also find me on social media, Props Do Entertainment, and the Rogue Microphone. So yeah, we got a lot of things coming up for the next year. I do have the private chef thing going. But yeah, look out for a Beats and Bars program in a school system near you. Look out for a Baritone Brothers project coming. Look out for the Concrete Silhouette project I got coming. Look out for the Last of Us project I got coming. I got a couple of
Damn,
albums
you
to
got a
keep
lot
me
going
busy
on.
for the next couple of
Got a lot
Oh
years.
going on.
shit, that's what's up.
Yeah. Got a lot of things just to set me up for the next couple of years. Put everything in autopilot so I could focus on the family and stuff.
I got you.
Just got
Oh,
married.
congrats.
Big shout out to Mrs. Johnson. You know what I'm saying? The love of my life. And we do big things together, and we got a lot of things going on this year. So it's time to get busy.
All right, man.
Word
Congrats, and
up.
we're looking forward to checking those out when they drop.
I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely send those through to you.
All right, guys, it's been real. I had a great time with this discussion today, and Also, feel free to connect with us and follow us, and yeah, let us know your opinions of what we talked about today, whether you agree with us or don't agree with us. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are. But until next time, from Mike Johnson and also King Khan, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Shifting the Culture podcast. Take care, have a good one, and whether you are an old school head or a new school head, always respect the fucking culture. That is all I ask.
Peace, yo. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Peace.
Our pleasure.